You are now listening to PODCORN, episode 26, for September 25th, 2013.
Don't think about it too much, too much, too much, too much. This is more than just a new lust for you. Don't think about it.
Done saying I'm done playing.
Hello, welcome everybody. It's Amy Reeder and Brandon Montclair, and it's PODCORN Podcast.
You sounded like you were going to go off to do something crazy and then realized that it's pretty cliche that you try to do something crazy.
Yeah, it's just old news
We got a
over
really,
here.
we got a real exciting podcast for you.
It's just podcast
Putting Amy to
time.
sleep.
Done it too many times.
I said, Amy, what do you want to talk about today? And she goes, how about how tired I am because I'm working so hard?
No, he asked me what's on my mind right now.
That's true.
I was saying I'm tired, I'm working hard.
Yeah, putting a lot out. We both have a couple of broken wings.
Yeah.
Well, Amy's always got wrist problems.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you work-
mine are actually a lot better than they've been in a lot of ways, but
Yeah.
you have carpal tunnel, which is nuts.
I have a bum wrist.
Yeah, right wrist.
Yep.
But see, I'm always like super precious with my dominant hand, so
Yeah.
I already know how to do everything with the other. I'm a lefty, so I know how to do a lot of things with my right hand at this point.
Yeah, I've never had any kind of problems before, but this is literally from the, getting ready for the Rocket Girl Kickstarter and bagging and boarding, getting ready for comics, right? Making bags and boards that we're going to ship out and signing stuff and
Yeah,
getting it ready, so.
it's a bummer. I keep telling Brandon not to use his hand, but he
It's like,
can't help it.
It's like,
part
okay,
of,
yeah, it's sore, I'll dump it in a bowl of ice and I'll just get through it.
Yeah.
Which is what I always thought about carpal tunnel, but no, I have no sensation in my index finger and very little in my thumb and middle finger.
No,
So
you
it's like
seem to have it pretty bad.
I'm completely
I would say.
gimped. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's done. I can't even hold a pen. So
It's crazy.
good thing I ain't inking Rocket Girl.
I know. Well, I know how to take care of myself. I take this hand very seriously.
Not me.
Yeah, I guess not. I carry all my groceries in my right hand. Like anything I can fit, it all goes on my right hand. This hand does everything.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Well, there you go. And that's another PODCORN for you. So
Yeah,
hope you liked it.
super exciting.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. We thought we'd talk about covers.
We're going to talk about cover number 2, which everyone loves.
Yeah,
Rocket Girl
which is
cover,
good.
too.
Well, and they used it as an ad, which is awesome. So Image likes it too.
Yeah, it's on the backs of a lot of Image books.
Yeah. So anyway.
A lot of cover news in September.
Yeah, for real.
Well, at DC. DC put out all lenticular covers.
I just about lost it when I saw, because I like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm a gimmick kind of girl.
Yeah, there was some controversy because there weren't enough printed, and then you couldn't reorder them because it was such an ordeal to make, right? So I think
okay.
they made them overseas as opposed to most stuff getting printed in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have the right stock, so they had to kind of lock their numbers in before retailers could really put orders in.
I see.
And then they said this was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then they said, yeah, it is, and then they couldn't get any more of them. So.
Oh, bummer. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at least they did a good job,
I'll
with
say,
what they ordered.
Amy bought 2 books just based on the cover.
Yep.
That she
Yep.
would never
I just
have
bought
bought
them for the
otherwise.
cover.
What'd you buy?
I got Penguin.
Right.
And I got Killer Frost because I don't even know who Killer Frost is, but I really enjoy all the little ice shards flying at me, and I love how some of them are blurry, and even the blurry ones move around. I didn't think that could be possible.
So you're sold, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh yeah, I can't stop looking at it. It's just I just keep moving it back and forth. So anyway.
I'm a big Dial H fan. We talked about that before. Mm-hmm. And Dial E couldn't get the lenticular cover. Had to get a regular cover.
Oh, such a shame.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
I was telling somebody I should just try and buy as many of these as possible and
and not read them
and mount them on my wall for pictures, so people can walk past it and play with the lenticularness of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, it wasn't, obviously Rock Girls are 80s book. 90s was when they had variant covers, but when we designed Rocket Girl, number 2, you
Yeah.
know, we said, hey, we're gonna put like a lot of packaging on it, and you wanted it
I wanted it to look like a DVD cover.
a VHS.
Or, yeah, VHS. Sorry.
And a lot of people have like clocked right onto that, or they say, "Oh, it looks like an old Atari 2600, like
Yeah,
an
that
Activision
too.
video
Like a
game."
video game thing.
And
Yeah.
I remember you first had a design that was just kind of like pink with white piping and stuff like that.
Yeah. At first it looked very like teen or child 80s stuff because I was a kid in the 80s, so it's
Right.
I know how I dressed in the 80s, but I was also a kid.
And it was a little too garish and kind of a little flat too, and
Yeah.
messed around with it and got
But
it.
I told you it was early. An early
Yeah.
plan.
So it wasn't that I invented it, but we were looking at some stuff, and I said, "Oh, you should take that like that desert. There's like a mirrored desert. Like if you look closely at Rocket Girl in the actual lettering,
Desert sunrise.
there's like a desert sunrise in the reflection in the background." And that was something I said, "Oh, it has to go."
Well,
in
we
there."
were
And
looking
made
up
it.
things. We were looking up examples.
I think we
and
were looking
you
up
pointed
VHS
out
box.
you pointed out
Yeah.
one that was actually a fake, and they were using all these 80s tropes.
Oh, is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did a better job on my effect, but
Right.
yeah, they had kind of made us remember that kind of thing. And yeah, so you were like, you should try that, and I was like, I don't think so, Brandon. You don't know what you're talking about. But then when I was trying to design it and stuff, I found that I started to try it, and it really looked good, and it kept looking better the more I did to it. So
Yeah, it's kind of a fantasy of mine that somehow we'll be able to print a variant of it with like actual foil pressing. You know what I mean?
yeah. Maybe we should get a print that looks like that.
That'd be even more expensive. Yeah.
Oh man,
Well,
we
foil
just
stamping
charge
gets
people
pricey.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but
But what about it didn't start off with goofy packaging, right? So to speak.
well, yes and no.
trade dress.
Yes and no. Like,
Talk about the origin of the cover.
no, I just drew you wanted me to have her laid back because you felt like I had all these poses with her energetic or angry, in action with her helmet on. So you were just like, no, I feel like we got to have something that's a little more calm, and more introspective. And you're like, she doesn't have to be smiling, but she should at least be thoughtful. So I went with thoughtful because she kind of takes herself a little seriously.
Yeah, you say I say it, but discussion, right? So
Yeah. No, but those were just some thoughts you had. I know that we had also talked about this one. We had thought about putting her on a Chrysler gargoyle, which
Yeah,
we
which
might
would be
do in the
great.
future.
Yeah.
And you found this one picture that somebody had like either taken or painted.
no, it's a photo.
It was a photo.
Like the pink and orange sky, and this
And
and the Chrysler Building has a whole bunch of different gargoyles. If you just do a Google search, I guess they wouldn't even all be gargoyles. What do you call them? Just different.
Well, there's two. There's a gargoyle, and then there's something called like a radiator cap or something.
There's a bunch of different ones. There's like an eagle, so
The eagle is the gargoyle, but
the
yeah.
eagle is the gargoyle, according to Amy.
Yeah, I had to look up all this stuff.
But it's super highly shined chrome finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just looked
Steel.
really 80s because it was very pink and blue shining through the
Yeah,
chrome. And so I remember you wanted me to color it that way. And that's part of why I decided to color this cover that way, is to have the
And you had
pink
some
and
really
blue
good-
coming from different
You
angles.
had some really good comps. Some good compositions of how you would kind of pose her
Yeah, we tried
on
that.
the Chrysler Building.
Yeah, we might still use it, but anyway, I decided to apply that coloring to this new sketch, and yeah, it was just fun to draw her close up. Originally, I had the helmet facing the other direction, but then Brandon reminded me that the symbols on her costume, they're actually her name, Dayoung.
Yeah, so if you look at her right half of her helmet
Mhm.
and then the left half of her chest,
It
it's
forms
yeah
her name.
the
So
two
opposite
two sounds, right?
sides, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the two syllables, yeah. So we decided, that we just basically have those two parts meet each other so that it makes the name. Make it a little more explicit.
Yeah, you didn't put that in. It was kind of a missed opportunity. And I was surprised.
Yeah, I'm bad at that kind of thing though. Like I've always been bad even with like superhero symbols, including those. It seems like every pose I make somehow like somebody's chest area is being obstructed in some way or another.
Yeah, I don't want to talk ill of other people, but a lot of times you see, especially on covers, where the symbol like should be a little bit more covered, but they they get the anatomy a bit wrong to keep
just to show
the Superman
symbol.
S or the the Batman symbol on it. It's like people say, oh, it's so important to get the full symbol, but they don't want like a straight on shot, so they kind of fudge it sometimes, and it doesn't always. Yeah,
it can look kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very concerned about having natural poses and people bending over or having hands in their way doing something. I don't really like to just draw somebody standing there because it never really looks that good.
But it's a very natural New York setting for Rocket Girl number 2. It's
true. Yeah, I wanted to
the back of a building on a fire escape.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen a lot of those. In fact, I was with Brandon for a little bit, like apartment hunting with your sister, and I remember we were looking at things and like I saw like some of the apartments were facing inside, where the buildings all back up to each other because I'm a street
most
view.
of them because she was on a budget, right? So
and I don't know, so I think at the time I was thinking more about Rocket Girl and about New York, and so I was trying to take in as much as I could.
Yeah, so a lot of apartments in the city will have a view of the back of the building, which would just be this kind of which is the back of another building, basically.
Yeah, a bunch of other backs of buildings.
With nothing in between,
And it becomes like this weird kind of maze of buildings. So, so I just wanted to put that in there. Fire escapes are hard to draw, but I'm kind of starting to enjoy them. And a
lot of brickwork.
Yeah, I like bricks. Because you can make them so irregular. And I looked up a bunch of pictures on image search of like messy looking old worn down brick.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the struts or supports for the fire escape lined up with the other element.
Yeah.
You said that was a happy accident.
Yeah, well, you can't see all of it because of the trade dress, but
if you look at the raw
without
image,
it, like,
which is out there, right?
Yeah, there's like
we'll post it.
Basically the stairs and the fire escape in the background, along with the triangular supporters of the close-up one, kind of form like three like house triangles. You know what I mean? Like a angle pointing up. And I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. I didn't mean to do that. But I know how to draw fire escapes pretty well because I'm always looking at one outside my window. I have this really annoying... I have a fire escape on both windows because one of them is like the one that you take the ladder down to get out. Right. So
what's Diane thinking?
I don't know. She's just thinking about serious stuff. The girl never relaxes, you know.
She looks like, I don't know that she looks
comfortable.
Overly serious. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks comfortable. She looks like she loves New York and she loves the 80s.
Does she?
Even though she's not from that time.
Huh?
Yeah.
What about the color? Straightforward?
No, it's anything but. That's what I'm saying. It was like I tried to add all this pink and blue lighting when I almost never do that usually. Like I usually do this cell shaded look, and it's still kind of cell shaded, but I came up with a totally new technique on how to color on this cover.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I guess you didn't notice. No, I don't know. I have basically there's three.
nice attitude.
There's 3 images of Dayoung. Basically, I got the flats of it, right? Mm-hmm. And I copied the flats 3 times, the flat colors. And on each layer, I changed the hue of it. So I make it all pink hued on one, and all blue hued on another, and then all turquoise hued on the last one, like a lighter turquoise. And then the blue is like the dark mid-tone, and then like the pink is from one light, and then the turquoise is from another light. So basically you do like a layer mask, and a layer mask makes it so that part of it isn't visible. So you basically like are cutting away stuff without actually erasing it, so you can paint on and off certain colors.
So some people digitally ink. I know Jamie Grant Like he'll offset a bit. He'll do literally 3 levels like on All Star Superman. Like he'll take 3 scans straight up of the black and then offset them a pixel, and then he'll affect line weight by taking off some here or there, keeping the 3. You know what I mean? So. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's a good technique. I just used it for this other cover I just recently did, and I feel like whenever you want to use strong lighting where there's 2 opposing things, 2 opposing hues, that it's a really good way to go. But in general, I always shade with like a semi-transparent layer, and I just shade with blue, like a dark blue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a new technique I used, and I'm glad I got some time to learn it. And I don't know, I just think it looks good. I think it's just fun, and I like doing things that are closer up, so that's semi-close up.
People love it, and so such a nice cover, and you had to cover so much of it with the trade dress.
Yeah, but I knew I was going to, so.
Yeah, but still, everyone loves the trade dress, the design elements to it.
Yeah.
And it's issue 2, and we've gone, and you've totally messed up the logo and everything. You know what I mean? You completely changed it.
Yeah, I've already changed it.
So
I made it bigger, too.
I don't know if, branding experts would agree, but people dig it.
It's a simple enough logo, so.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible.
Yeah.
You also, just on the subject of covers, has it been announced, or no? You have a cover.
I don't know if I can talk about it.
Oh, you can't talk about it. Be on the lookout for a...
Yeah, I did another cover somewhere.
Just a one-off.
Yeah, it'll be in November.
A classic female character.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
I mean, I don't know. I should have checked online to see if they've announced it yet. Anyway, it was just a fun little distraction when I've pretty much been doing only Rocket Girl for a while.
Very different than Rocket Girl. I mean, Rocket Girl's action-packed, but this one is a bit savage.
Yeah.
And not brutal. What would be the word? I don't know.
No, I think brutal's good, especially with the cover I did.
Yeah.
So, it was a nice diversity between the 2 characters, basically. Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah, and working up, and we like I said, all 5 covers are done for
Rocket
Girl.
The
first arc of Rocket Girl.
Yeah.
The last cover is a wraparound cover, so that should be pretty cool.
Pretty exciting.
And 4, not announced yet, but will be soon. Not shown yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool. You did, totally different,
I know. Hopefully
Maybe we'll talk about it when it comes out.
Yeah.
You're reading a lot of Sean Murphy.
It was a little bit Sean Murphy inspired, but it's never going to look as good as his stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But more brushy than...
Well, it was a very dark scene, so I decided that I'd play a little with rendering.
And the 3rd cover is something that's... I think they've solicited it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
And that's the image that's been around for the close-up of Young with the helmet.
Yeah. Or maybe the solicitations just are about to come out for it. But yeah, it's just the teaser image that we've been circulating around. We decided to make that cover 3.
Right. And it's good stuff.
I love doing covers, and I really try to make them as different from each other as possible.
Well, you have to. I mean, it said it was. We just noticed today, and they're great covers, but Trillium, which is the new Vertigo series, has a guy in a space helmet upside down.
A girl.
A girl in a space helmet. You're right. But and then the flip cover is a guy upside down. Right? But it has the helmet. You know what I mean? And then Collider, which has been now renamed Federal Bureau of Physics.
Oh, okay.
Is a dude in kind of like a helmet mask upside down looking at stuff, and you say, "Oh wow! How can you have 2 launches of 2 new series that came out basically at the same time?"
Well, so I'm wondering whether they're supposed to do that.
Yeah,
it might be their theme or something.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You start thinking about it as a consumer, maybe because you're a professional, right? If you say, "Oh, I never noticed," because I didn't notice until I just saw it, and I'm guessing it was just a coincidence. But it's the type of coincidence where if you're an editor, you might say, "Oh, we should just change it up because people are going to try to think, why are they both that way?"
Yeah.
But on a title, it's the same thing. You have to, and sometimes you do covers out of order, or you don't do one for a month and you don't think, and you have to say, "Oh, you have to make sure that they're very different, month to month."
Yeah.
Or you run into problems, and
Yeah, no, it's true. So I don't know. Like I always, it's just like music. Like it's never fun when you have some band and they just make the same song over and over again.
Yeah, and like I said,
So
you love doing close-ups. You have Madame Xanadu #1 is a close-up.
I try and do at least one close up for every character I
And
do.
you know what's funny? And I just noticed this when you talk about repeating yourself. The first Madame Xanadu is a close-up.
Mm-hmm.
The first Batwoman, which is Batwoman 6, is a close-up.
Mm-hmm.
And the first Rock Girl isn't a close-up. And we knew it wasn't going to be the first cover.
Mm-hmm.
But that teaser image, which is the cover to 3, was the first finished image that you had done, and that was a close-up.
Well, it helps me kind of flesh out what they look like. I mean, I think the closer in you go, the more, yeah, you've figured out who they are even really close up. I think a lot of times when people do close ups, they don't actually like develop them further even though they're closer. Does that make any sense? Like they don't think about the seams on the clothes and stuff when they really ought to.
Right.
So that's usually why like I actually normally don't like close ups when people make them on covers.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, and this is not to. I mean, even the second issue of Madame Xanadu was kind of a close-up.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the issue you did? I don't remember the number, but it would be 17.
Where it's super close up.
Yeah, where it's close up, and then you have the boats.
I think
underneath.
that was issue 20.
20. Okay.
Yeah.
So you pulled. How many Xanadu covers did you do total?
17, 16, 16.
Yeah. So. And you pulled a few close-ups in that, and that's not even a character with a mask. You know what I mean? It's just like a regular person. So
Yeah.
that's hard to do.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just think I maybe it's because I kind of come from more of a manga background, and it's like I find with the covers there, and obviously a lot of times these aren't even usually the covers of the book. It's just whatever the U.S. publisher decides to use as a cover.
Right.
But like, it seems that people when they're looking at books and that whole following and stuff, they're looking for somebody. They're looking for whether they like the art style or not, and whether they think the character looks intriguing. You know, it's less about like a cool, tricky concept and more about, hey, you know, this is the person that you're going to read about. Do you like this person or not? You know? And so I guess that's kind of where I come from. But, you know, I don't always do that as the first cover. I mean,
No, I just thought it was interesting.
Supergirl was definitely small for the first few covers, and then Halloween Eve was not a close-up either. But then I ended up doing a close-up for the back cover, so there you go. I'm a close-up kind of girl.
That's true. Although that was taken from an interior.
I know, but we took it because it looked so good.
It really did. Halloween's coming up, so, you know.
Yeah.
Hope you've all read
Halloween Eve. Yeah, so if not...
It's available. There's a few more copies, but it's about to be sold out, you know. We're taking,
Yeah.
like, there was a few extra copies, and you know, they'll all be gone, so you might want to get one from your shop. But we say you can always get it on Comixology or...
True. Very true. That never runs out.
But, yeah, you know, so much Halloween season will be upon us soon, so...
Yes. Woo!
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So will, I guess, you know, like, stork or loon or something. I don't know what that sound you just made was.
What?
Is it some kind of bird?
That was
kind
a
of
ghost.
waterfowl?
That was a ghost.
Oh, I see.
No, my waterfowl is like...
Really?
No, I don't know. I don't know what waterfowl sound like. Probably depends on the fowl.
Maybe. But anyway, everyone digs cover 2. It's their favorite, but,
Yeah.
you know, now that's a little bit behind
Glad
it.
you guys like it.
I think we're going to be doing, we can say, yeah, we're going to be doing a print of it, so people who usually like pick up the Amy stuff. It's been so popular, it'll be available as a 11 by 17 at conventions.
Yes, so that'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, come see us October 9th,
Please.
At New York Comic. I guess October 10th is New York Comic
Yeah,
Con.
October 9th at Forbidden Planet.
October 9th, we're doing a signing at 7 o'clock at night. That's Forbidden Planet in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Next day is Comic Con.
Yes.
A couple of other signings will be following.
Yes, we'll be signing at Dimension X and Image at NYCC as well in their booths. But
At
you're
their
just
booths.
saying afterwards, yeah.
Yeah,
Comic
well,
Book
lots of
Jones.
stuff. Comic Book Jones in Staten Island for issue 2, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we always try to be around. So,
Yeah.
and if you're
So
if
be
you got
there.
a store in New York, invite us
Yes, let us know.
or thereabouts.
Cool. Well, anyway, we've got a lot of work to do, so just thanks for helping us out and being our listeners, and we'll talk here soon.
And thanks to Chris Robinson, who always puts these together for us. Check out his Fearless Future.
Yes.
8-pagers, a bunch of stories that he's been putting up for free. I think he's got 4 out now.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Really good looking stuff too.
Yeah, and that's at fanbros.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can click on the what is it called? Originals? Fanbros Originals.
Yes.
And check them out. They're all free. And what's interesting is that they're all like pros, but doing different things. Like, oh, this is a colorist, but he wanted to write a story, and they kind of round robined it. So
sweet.
Chris Robinson round robin. Chris Round Robinson. That's what
I don't like that. That name sounds kind of fishy to me.
Okay. Round Robinson would be a great name for some kind of character somewhere.
Maybe that should be my band name.
Well, you had another band name which you thought was great and really wasn't that good.
It was Metrognome, but somebody took it. But he's really good. Look him up on YouTube.
You know it's not pronounced gnome.
Yeah, I'm just explaining because I'm speaking it.
All right. Chris Robinson, the real one, is at Chris Robinson on Twitter.
Yes, follow him.
I'm at B. Montclair.
I'm at Amy Rader.
Check us out.
All right. Thanks
Bye.
for listening. Bye.